We interrupt your regular viewing routine to deliver this public service announcement. There is a spreading epidemic that may need your careful attention or even intervention. According to reports, regions worldwide are saying that watch collections are growing exponentially in a matter of weeks and in some worst cases, just days. And no, we're not even talking about G-Shock because we all know G-Shocks don't count. Allegedly, Zelos is the top cause of this collection inflammation, with many reports citing multiple variants of the same model. So, to better prepare you for this latest strain, the Blacktip GMT, we're going to examine this watch closely and hopefully we can prepare all of you for this next purchasing season. This video is brought to you by Zelos Watches. The Blacktip makes a return to the channel with an extra complication, the GMT function. This retains the overall look of the model line with its signature bezel and case design. This of course is not a new design direction, as skin divers have been around for decades. People love that sweet spot between a professional diver and a casual timepiece. That's why Zelos went with this shape. This virtually keeps its dimensions compared to the original Blacktip, with the only difference being the thickness. On the wrist, the Blacktip latches itself nicely with its contoured lugs and female end links, providing the maximum fit. The smaller, narrower links also delivers a lot of flexibility for both flat and round wrists. Even though it measures 41mm in diameter, the sleek design makes the case appear smaller than its measurements. Operating this diver is as expected. Unscrew the crown to unlock the movement. The first turn is for winding the caliber and the next is for setting the date and GMT function. One thing that I noticed is how incredibly audible all of the ticks are. Just take a listen. Incredibly satisfying. The last step is the hour and minute setting, rounding out the time-related features. Screw down the crown to ensure that you have all of that 200 meters of water resistance available in most situations. The bezel has a soft ratcheting action that is a step up from the spearfish I reviewed a few months ago and is definitely a lot better than Seiko's friction bezel. Flip over the watch and you'll see quick release spring bars that make strap changing very convenient. Ever since it was introduced by Zelos, this has become one of my favorite features. Another upgrade is the Omega style clasp that I just love very much. It's very well built and aesthetically pleasing. Inside this clasp is the push button micro adjust mechanism that I can't get enough of. This requires to be pushed to adjust in or out, unlike other versions that can be pushed in to size down. One thing to keep in mind, this does not have that hardened coating that we've been seeing in the previous collections. I think it's an appropriate decision seeing that this will age like a vintage style diver that it is. That bracelet is just amazing, but we love our straps in this channel. This sailcloth strap really reminds us of Blancpain divers. The texture is great and it adds a character without sacrificing water resistance. Let's put it on this NATO strap and you'll see that it also works with enough material to size on any wrist. Both these straps are from Artem straps, so it could keep up with Zelos quality. These two straps alone shows the versatility of the Blacktip when it comes to strap changing. But is it possible to dress it up? With a wide or lighter strap, the Blacktip GMT manages to pull it off because of those dominant white markers. It's got that summer vibes as well. But even without the straps, the bracelet alone should be enough to keep people happy with its overall presentation. The Blacktip GMT's playability is a definite selling point, but many fans out there might want to see how it stacks up against other mechanical GMTs. Against the Nareda GMT, the proportions appear bigger and the tail of the tape practically says the same as the Nareda's just 39mm. Although bigger, the Blacktip spreads out that proportion across the case better, making it look more flat than the Nareda. If people are not familiar with this watch from Venezianico, Seiko might ring a bell. Against the Seiko 5 GMT, it looks a lot more streamlined, kinda like comparing a dolphin to a turtle. Of the two, you can see which is built to look like a professional diver, but both are really more collectibles than anything else. I've said it before, I hated the friction bezel of the Seiko 5 GMT, and that's enough of a win for the Blacktip. All three of these watches place around the $500 price range, but the Blacktip is the more feature-packed of them all. Now let's dive deeper, all puns unsettlingly intended, and let's dissect this Zelos Blacktip. This bezel is very distinct. The raised and protruding bezel grip towers over the dominant brushed case. There are some pleasing polished chamfers on the sides that contributes to the slim profile. The crown has a lot of real estate for a good solid grip. The bracelet has this round and soft shapes, contributing to both comfort and aesthetics. The links utilize the usual screw pins for easy resizing. The clasp is just amazing. It looks really robust, but the buttons rarely registers visually. At the tips of the band are the quick release levers. The initial run of the Blacktip had these long levers, and they are now significantly shorter and doesn't touch your skin. The lugs are also drilled in case that you want to use a different kind of spring bar. The case back is textured appropriately with a mix of brush, polish, and bead blasted surfaces. Let's now flip upwards and examine the bezel and dial. The bezel on this variant is painted on, while the original that we reviewed were just carved out. This ceramic brushed bezel provides a great complement to the dial that's a bit more special than it seems. This dial is actually a sheet of titanium, then coated in PVD. This creates a muted purple tint with a deep gray shadow. This is all good until I start to look at the reason behind the white markers. Yes, it's a great contrast against all of the dark elements, but I feel that this effect could have been achieved by using plain old steel indexes. But the metal indexes has an extra benefit of light play and elegance. These white markers just makes the indexes look larger than it should be. Maybe 30 years from now, it will develop a great patina. I like also that they used a complementary teal accent on certain markers. This, however, is spoiled by this Blacktip GMT branding that's placed a little too low for my liking. All this culminates to a really solid but not perfect diver with a lume that stands above the rest. The pricing is also very hard to beat, and it comes in 6 different variations. As always, the Zelos frenzy is in full alert as many of these variants will sell out within minutes. Jonathan Tagliani, another fellow YouTuber, billed this as the return of a legend. I fully agree, as this is really becoming one of Zelos' more recognizable models. The Skin Diver is a full category of dive watches that, in a way, represents the collecting culture. Only now, you have the benefits of tracking 3 time zones at a single glance. If you're looking for a robust dive watch but could do less of the bulk and professional grade features, this will be part of your collection. Or maybe 2 of them. I have 3 already, so why stop there? A 4th one wouldn't hurt. Okay, 5 may be too much, but that's still fine. So, really, the best way to prepare is to keep your credit card line clean at all costs. And also notify your loved ones and family members that you may need some social distancing, especially when that new delivery arrives. And lastly, very, very important, is to look into your watch box. See if there's any Invictus lying around and discard them or give them away so that you can make room for this new GMT. And hopefully, if you follow all of those instructions, you'll be able to survive this latest infectious wave from Zelos and prepare your immunity for the next inevitable collection down the line. Do it now. Do it. I'm telling you, for your sake.